This euro dollar trade netted me 5.9%, and the best part, my students did the exact same setup. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down to you guys the full trade step by step and show you the reasoning behind it. And also, I'm going to quickly just prove that it wasn't just me who caught the trade as well. Now, these are the analysis that some of the students sent in the chat. Not all of them did, but we did obviously speak about it as well. They did in my DMs, etc. But these are the ones that sent it in the chat, right? And as you can see here, we got Alan. Alan also caught the euro dollar move. We got Jack here as well, caught the euro dollar move. We got FA. He caught a nice, brilliant move here as well. So obviously, you know, piece of the pie, very important. As you can see here, we got Errol. Also took the nice short, same as me. We discussed that one together as well. We've got Aaron here, which is also caught a nice piece of the pie there. And obviously myself there as well, right? The reason I closed here, I'll explain later in the video why. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my students in terms of who sent their chart analysis. Now, with that being said, as you can see back on the charts, on the daily time frame, right, we have this range high and range low previously, okay? We'd come from, obviously, this previous POI mitigation on, obviously, price moving bullish, okay? But then we took out this level. And obviously, when price takes out a pretty key area of interest or a key level, you can usually expect price to often not necessarily reverse, but at least minimum a short-term pullback, okay? On the 4 hour, on the other hand, as you can see here, we had this range high here. Then we had this range low, okay? So at first, I was anticipating price to pull back into this area and then see how price reacts from there, okay? From this point, though, we had the range high, we had the range low. Price had obviously short-term pull back and then pull back internally into the supply area, which is an internal supply mitigation there on H4. And also, you can view this another way, a failure swing. Why? Because price obviously pulled back. We failed to put in a new high. So therefore, it would be a failure swing, okay? From that point, obviously, price shifted bearish from there, in which we was in the move, obviously anticipating that bearish move from. Then on the 15-minute time frame, as you can see here, price is obviously breaking previously bearish. Okay, we initially had this bearish breaking structure to the downside here. I did have this extreme POI marked up and this decisional POI, but this one was obviously high probability because it was within the structure. But then also it was inside the Asia session, which I'm not keen on trading from. But this was just the typical continuation model that we trade at ZCFX, right? Hence why my students caught it. As you can see here, price obviously broke short to the downside with a lot of momentum there. Then we down this range low on this range high. Price had obviously pulled back and respected this POI pretty nicely. Then as for the 1 minute time frame, which I'll jump into shortly, obviously I look to just pretty much ride the trend down, right, and squeeze as much profits as I can. We're taking partials out and trying to scale out the trade, right? Now, anyways, I had this POI marked up and I also had this one, okay? I was literally looking to sell from both of the POIs, but obviously price mitigated this one because it's within the current range. Not also that, it just reacted to it. The price had obviously violated this, and maybe we could look for longs up into this area, but it didn't. It just reacted to that there. So when we jump onto the 1 minute time frame, right, obviously ignore the big consolidation phase that we're seeing in the market right now. As you can see here, we also had a 1 minute supply refined zone on the 1 minute time frame, which is also inside of this M15 zone, okay? So if you wanted to short from this engulfing or whatever using candle combination that we do at ZCFX, fair enough. That would have been a nice, great move as well. I'll just move this out of the way. Anyways, as you can see here, we wait for a price to shift bearish, in which it did. We then had this new range high, range low and this range high. And obviously price had pulled back into this newly formed 1 minute POI. And from there, we just simply use a candle confirmation. Stop loss could have been a bit aggressive, more aggressive there for a bigger risk reward. But remember what I just said in that sentence, cut off. That's the key word. Okay, it's always easy to say in hindsight, but in the real moment, my stop loss is around this area. Pretty nice and safe. And I was saying to myself, this allows me room for price if it was to close above this high. I can cut my loss for a smaller loss there. Okay, so that's exactly why I did that. I wanted to give it, originally I wanted to put it above there, but I put it above there just to give it more room to breathe. Okay, from this point I took partials in pretty much key areas. Okay, I didn't take a lot of partials at this time because there was no need to. Price was still obviously heavily bearish. There's no sign of price reversing, but I took partials here, just a little bit of small partials just to secure myself a nice little small win if price was to reverse. From this point I traded my stop loss into there just above the highs for a smaller loss if price had obviously come up. And then from there I pretty much took partials around this area because we was obviously inside of the M15 lows. This is an internal M50, well, this is an M1 POI, which price could have potentially reacted from, so that's why I took partials at these key areas, right? And then obviously from there, price took out the M15 lows, therefore a higher time frame, significant high and low. And obviously, like I said earlier, when that happens, you can often expect the reverse, or at least at minimum a short-term pullback. Okay, so I didn't want price to do that. But anyways, as you can see here, we formed this new range low and this new range high. And then from there, price just came back up, wick rejected at the highs there, and then obviously shifted bearish. When price shifted bearish and closed below this range low, I traded my stop loss to above these highs. So it was a pretty big difference. Okay, at this point as well, I trailed my stop loss to above here, just pretty much following every range high. Then as you can see from there, price just rallied to the downside. Now at this point, I did have a H4 POI marked up, in which price started to obviously tap into, so I took partials as we approached the H4 POI. Okay, I also secured my bigger bit of partials all the way down here as well, simply being just because we took out, you know, at this point we're very overextended, and we obviously just took out another M1 low as well, right, which is a pretty key area of interest. We also, if anything, provided nice scale-ins or opportunities along the way, especially here and especially down here. Now this one isn't the highest probability because it's very overextended on the high time frame, but it's still valid. Anyways, from this point, we then obviously formed this new range low and high. Now I was going to adjust my stop loss to above here, and I would have been taken out. That's usually what I do, according follow my plan to the T. But I wanted to factor in this previous supply chain and just give it a little bit of extra room. And also not just that, but Errol as well, we had mentioned it, and I thought, you know what, I'll just join you in on that one because I've already partialed out most of my position here, so I'm not really too fussed from going from here to here. But anyways, as you can see, that's where my trailing stop loss was, and unfortunately I got taken out there for a nice win. I'm not complaining though. Well, this one here, I'm not complaining though. It's still a brilliant position for a nice 5.89 position all there, right? Or RR position. Obviously it would have been different because I partialed out some of the positions, etc. But my approach and management was pretty much fine. It could have been a little bit better, you know, follow my plan down here a little bit more. But at the end of the day, you know, we can't be greedy. I took my piece of the pie. It can't be, you know, to the T exactly right. But that's where I believe one of the students, I think Alan, closed down here, which is pretty cool to see. Obviously my teaching's, you know, being put into application from the students as well. Then from there, prices more so just consolidated. Not much has happened at all. So let's just see how obviously New York kicks in within the next minute. So we might see some volume over the next couple of hours. But yeah, that's pretty much my trade on the euro dollar. Very simple, very repeatable, and just pretty much just textbook really. Very typical laser continuation model, rather than, you know, playing the reversal or playing on the continuation with the sweeps. But yeah, very textbook in terms of range, M15, you know, mitigation, refine, etc. Chuck, supply chain, which is obviously, you know, here. But yeah, very textbook, very clean setup. Absolutely happy with the trade. Obviously I didn't trade yesterday because obviously it was a bank holiday and I was traveling back from the United game. I was in my own box, which is a brilliant weekend, by the way. But yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care. And also lastly, if you are serious about trading properly and getting results like this on my students, the mentorship is where we break it all down step by step. Make sure you join us. The link will be below. Take care, guys, and catch you on the next video.